holidays! This is Lizzie, and today I'll be sharing with you how to make Christmas crackers. Every year for the holidays we have a Christmas cracker at our place setting for our Christmas Day dinner. And I thought it would be fun to try and make these using the candy box die and some cracker snaps that I found through an online store. So I've taken a piece of 12 by 12 Donner pattern paper and cut it down the middle so I have two 6-inch strips. I'll be able to make 3 passes through the die cutting machine with each strip, which will in the end create 3 finished boxes since each candy box requires 2 passes. So I'm just going to finish cutting out my candy boxes and then I can move on to creating the embellishments for the candy boxes. To create the poinsettia embellishment on the box, I chose 2 coordinating cardstocks, chili pepper and noble fir, and will use these to die cut the flower pieces using 2 of the flower power dies. Since I'll be making 3 boxes in total for this video, I'll die cut 3 of the larger flowers to use as leaves and 6 of the smaller flowers to layer up for the flower petals. So the last thing that I need die cut before we start assembling the boxes are a label to put my message on, and I'm using the small stitched label dies, the oval shape from that, and I'll die cut 3 of those out. So here's everything that we need to assemble the boxes. These are the cracker snaps, and these are the things that make the popping sound when the crackers are pulled apart. You just pull each end, and with enough strength they pull apart and make that popping sound. So I will go ahead and start assembling the boxes. Each of the box sides have score lines on them. It's a little bit difficult to tell with the pattern paper, but they fold over very easily, and then you just going to reinforce those folds with the bone folder. And I'll do that for both sides of the box. So to put the boxes together, I'm going to use some strong adhesive, some score tape, and apply that to the outside pieces of the flap. And I'm going to do that for both sides. And then on one of the sides, I will take off the release paper and then carefully line that up with the other side of the box. And I'll get that nice and stuck down. And then before we finish assembling the box, I want to make sure that my cracker piece, my cracker snap, is applied to the inside. So I'm using some just tape runner, and I would recommend not using a very strong adhesive. The whole idea of it is to be able to pull it apart, so if you use a real strong adhesive, you're never going to be able to pull it apart. And believe me, trust me from experience. So once that cracker snap is in place, we can finish assembling the box and just fold that over, and then when you pop it up, it's a nice 3D box. I'm just going to pinch in the sides so that it will tie together a little bit easier. And then before we tie it up though and make it dimensional, I want to apply the embellishments to the front of the box, and it's just a little bit easier to do that as a flat box. So I'm creating the poinsettia, layering up the 2 red pieces, and then I will stick that onto the green leaves. And then with my finger, I'm just going to kind of tease up the edges just to give it a little bit more dimension. And then I'm going to be using a couple mini glue dots to adhere some seed beads to create the center of the flower. You could use some other type of adhesive. I think multi-matte medium would be a really good option for this. I don't personally have any. I only have glossy accents, and I just didn't want that shiny adhesive in the middle. So use whatever you have, but this seemed to work out pretty well. And then I applied just a couple of those seed beads right around the center of the flower. So the last thing that we need before we can fully assemble the box is the sentiment, and I'm using tiny tags saying, and the sentiment says Merry Wishes. I'm going to stamp that in some soot ink just off to the side on that stitched oval tag, and then I adhered that with some liquid glue to the front of the box, and then adhered the poinsettia embellishment just over that. And you can see it's a lot easier to adhere things down when the box is not fully assembled yet. So now that we have the front done, I'm going to be using some gold sparkle lawn trimmings and tying the edges with that. So with the one end tied off, you can see that there's still some space on the bottom. It doesn't fully close. So I use some red tissue paper, just stuff that down, and you can still access the cracker snap, and then you can go ahead and put whatever goodies you have in there, and then stuff some more tissue paper on the other end, and that way when the recipient doesn't know what surprises or goodies are inside, and it also allows the cracker snap to still be available so you can pull it. So here are the 3 little gift boxes that we made, and I am going to pop one for you. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video on making this fun holiday treat for your holiday table. I hope you guys try it out, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!